Well, we had a couple of setbacks in the beginning, but it's off to a very good start. We are on our third draft now. I know that most of these videos are very chaotic, but I'm going to give you guys some relaxing content right now. We're going to draw lines on paper so that I can cut this evenly, because I can't draw straight lines without a ruler. I actually don't know if I can draw straight lines with this ruler, but we're gonna find out.
Should I just leave the paper like this?
Really fun, because the first time I tried to film this video, it was a huge mess and I completely failed.
Come on.
Okay, maybe if I... Nope, still looks bad. You have tried my patience for the last time. So I really don't have any expectations for it at this point. Beautiful. Does this look straight to you guys? Be honest. I don't even care at this point. While I paint, I like to watch intellectually stimulating content. Let's thumbnail first. So this thumbnail is kind of ugly, but for this illustration I decided to draw my character Rose Thornblade. It's uneven! I started off by taping down my paper so it wouldn't move around. Here's me being frustrated because I didn't do it right. But I decided to draw Rose Thornblade for this illustration because I just wanted to draw something that was kind of light and feminine, that had a lot of roses and pink, because I'm kind of obsessed with pink hair right now, as some of you may have noticed. Rose is a fun character because she is a knight. She comes from a family of all male knights, and they're all very feminine and classically chivalrous and stuff, and she is a little bit more oblivious. She's like kind of a dumb jock, but she has a very logical mind. She's not very in touch with emotions, but she's really good at swinging a sword, and she's really good at growing a lot of hair. But I really enjoyed drawing her in this illustration. Let me know if you guys want to hear more about my characters, because they're really fun to talk about. I cleaned up the illustration a little bit more off camera, and I went over it with a putty eraser so lead wouldn't get all mixed in with my gouache. So last time I worked on the illustration for this video, I revealed that I definitely have no idea how to start using gouache, and I'm indeed quite bad at it. So I'm going to support myself a bit more with the markers that they sent me, and I'm definitely going to still use the gouache, but I'm going to use it cautiously because I'm a total beginner. And I don't want this to look bad, because the internet people are watching. Alcohol, markers, metallic watercolor, brushes, and jelly gouache. Hey, I just wanted to jump in real quick and let you guys know that the recording for this video wasn't great. My head kept getting in the way of the camera because I had it set up kind of bad, and all together it's just not great quality. It's a little bit blurry. I'm very sorry. I'm still trying to get this like traditional painting set up together and going, so anytime that my head gets in the way, I'm just gonna put this Mr. Krabs meme up because that's the only apology I have for you guys. I'm so sorry. I hope you enjoy anyways. Let's do some normal voiceover. Hello there. So by now you guys know that this illustration was a big struggle for me. One of the ways that I kind of combated that was using the markers that they sent me a lot. I know this is supposed to be a try and gouache video, but I think it's pretty obvious by now that I am not very good at using gouache. So the markers supported me a lot with the hair and just sort of lining things a little bit and making some darker areas. And I will say that they went on top of the gouache really nicely. I just really liked how they blended together, and I don't know, it had a nice look and a nice texture to it. So the gouache itself was a big struggle for several reasons. I think the biggest reason is I'm not used to the texture and consistency of gouache, obviously because I've never used it before, but it has sort of the consistency of, say, like oil paint, but then it has this watercolor quality to it where you can thin it out with water as opposed to paint thinner. And I'm just not used to working with paints like that. the paint I'm probably most experienced with is watercolor, but then most recently I've really enjoyed working with acrylic paint. So working with acrylic paint and doing these kind of larger illustrations with acrylic paint, it just like did not mesh with me. I could not get the hang of it. I couldn't figure it out, and it suffered for it a lot, but I was definitely supported by those markers, and I sort of got into a rhythm later on. I think everything was pretty okay by this point in the illustration, but the one thing that I just have to say is painting skin with gouache, I could not figure out how to do it. Still have not figured out how to do it. I think the biggest issue was when you paint with gouache, it goes on lighter than it dries, at least this particular kind of gouache. And when you're blending skin, that's like a really important factor. It's like really subtle, the variation in the skin tones, especially how I do it. And anytime I would like mix a new color to kind of go in and fix something or touch something up, or like just, you know, hey, I want to add this little detail, or I don't really like the shape of that, it would completely change the color of the skin and it would come out looking really grainy and pretty weird. So I ended up later on in this video just using some acrylic paint anyways. I know it's supposed to be a gouache video, but I had to save myself a little bit because I don't want to put out something that looks bad. I know that I need to swallow that fear and just like be true to my art. I don't know how to use gouache. I'm really bad at it. I want to make like a redemption video later on, like redeeming myself and using gouache somewhat well. You know, maybe in the future, but today is not that day. And this is where I completely broke down and just decided to finish it up with some acrylic paint. So here is where I break out the acrylic paint, and this made things a lot better because I'm very comfortable with acrylic paint. I've been using it for a long time, and I've been especially using it for bigger illustrations recently, especially in my sketchbook. So the techniques that I used for this illustration, it's a lot of like layering, and I don't know, I just kind of did whatever I felt looked good. Like whenever I saw an issue, I just had some acrylic paint or ballpoint pens or the markers that I had, and I just sort of tried to make it look good. This is definitely one of those illustrations that it's fun to do because you just really don't know where it's going, and I'm really glad that I ended up going with a headshot portrait instead of the big landscape illustration with like 3 characters that I was going to do whenever I first started filming this video. That was way too ambitious for me to try to do. I figured, okay, I could probably do this with acrylic paint, so I could probably handle it with gouache, but since I'm so inexperienced with gouache, obviously that didn't work out well. I don't know why I expected gouache to be so much easier to use, but I will say warning before you're like, yes, gouache is my medium, this is what I'm going to use from now on. Like, learn to use it and like know that it's kind of a tricky medium. It has a lot of advantages. You can make some really beautiful art. Like, I see such amazing beautiful art using gouache all over Instagram, but I don't know, like, it's probably not the medium for me. I feel like I should probably just stick to either acrylic paint or watercolors. I don't know. This voiceover is kind of breaking down at this point, but you know, these are just my raw thoughts as I'm watching this time lapse. By the end, I was having a lot of fun with this illustration because a friend was over and we were kind of just talking while I painted, and I was using acrylics and just kind of mixing it in, and I was using a little bit of gouache here and there when I saw that it would be actually advantageous to use gouache, but a lot of the little details, you know, I put in with the acrylic paint. Another issue with gouache, since it is like water soluble, I don't know if that's the term, whenever you layer it on top of something else, it will reactivate the paint below, which causes 2 problems. First of all, you have like wet paint, and like, yes, it can be good for blending, but when the paint is wet, it's lighter than it is whenever it's dry. And second of all, it can, like, if you're trying to layer a new color on top of it that's different because you're trying to fix something, it will pick up the color underneath it and just kind of ruin your day a little bit. I don't know. It's just, I struggled so much here, but Anyways, right now in the video, I'm just going over this with some ballpoint pens because that's just a stylistic thing that I like to do. It just adds a little bit more detail and a little bit more texture. And any of you who didn't know this, ballpoint pen goes beautifully over these kind of paints, like acrylic paint, gouache, watercolor. So if you want to just like kind of play around with colors and lay them down and then sort of refine it with a pen, it really looks nice. At least to me it does. I really enjoy doing it. And then to finish it up, I just added a black background because my friend told me like, hey, this needs some more contrast. You're going a little bit crazy with the pink. So I added sort of this black background with little splotches of like crimson in it. I thought it looked nice. And then I just added some little highlights and some finishing touches and details. And overall, I'm really pleased with the illustration. It looks really nice, but it's not a gouache illustrations. It's mostly acrylic paint, I feel like. So, oh, and this recording is just so bad. So I think it's important to share with you guys that I am not always a good artist. Sometimes it's like a train wreck, and I too am learning, and I'm kind of afraid to share with you guys what this would have looked like if it were just a gouache illustration. So maybe sometime in the future I'll be bold enough to do one that's just gouache and really challenge myself and maybe show you guys something that actually genuinely looks bad. But to finish up, I took the paint off, and here's the final product, just some glamour shots. I hope you guys enjoyed the illustration. I hope you guys liked it and maybe got something out of it. I'm sorry this was so disorganized. Oh my gosh.
So Artix sent me another box. I don't even know what this is, but thank you guys. This is really nice of you. One-handed scissors. Oh, it says Merry Christmas. I really don't know what this is. There's another one. This is a bag. Stickers. I am an LED decorative light. Cool.
What do you think of it, Mrs. Producer?
I think she likes it. We got an ornament. I don't know what's in here. I should open it, I guess.
Mrs. Producer, you're not being very helpful right now. That's not for you.
This is a bracelet, actually. Oh, these look like pins. Oh, this is my favorite. Well, this is really nice of you guys. Thank you so much for sending me some goodies alongside the art supplies that you so generously sent. And I took like over a month to make a video for. Hi, producer. Look at how pretty my Christmas tree is. Like, it's so nice. Festive.
Howdy, you have reached the end. So I'm sorry that this video wasn't as put together as some of my other ones. I feel like I'm saying that every single week at this point. I had an unfortunate thing happen this week, and I'm not really going to share that with you guys, but that is the reason why it wasn't more edited and put together, and the sketchbook tour part 2 is going to be delayed another week because of that, because I didn't want to rush through and edit it too quick whenever, you know, I'm dealing with all of this other stuff. So I just figured I'd put this video up. I hope you guys enjoyed it anyways. If you did, leave a comment, tell me how your day is going, like and subscribe, and put on the notifications bell because I do not upload on a regular schedule. I'm going to try to fix that, but that's really the only way that you're going to know whether I post or not. I am so disorganized, I'm very sorry, but I hope you enjoyed the process. Thank you again so much to Artix, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, for sending me the art products in this video. I took way too long to finish and film this video. They sent it to me like back in November. I'm sorry, but here it is. I hope it was satisfactory. In 2021, I'm going to try to actually get my act together and put out more content and better content and more like educational tutorial type stuff, because I know that's what you guys really want to see from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week, maybe, hopefully, with the tour. I'm not sure. Anyways, bye. I hope you guys enjoyed. Also, if you count how many Mr. Krabs memes I put in the speed paint and put it in the comment, I'll pin your comment, because I just thought that was kind of funny. Okay, bye.